My pantry needed a serious makeover, so Matt and I are taking you along for the journey. Come along as we tackle the demo, install cabinets, and make all the mistakes so you don't have to. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, demo day. We cleared out everything. Food, appliances, everything. Then, we got to work removing the shelves, baseboards, and support pieces. Pro tip here, be super careful here not to damage the walls. Trust us, it's much easier to do this step properly than to spend extra time patching up holes later. We learned this the hard way. For the base cabinets, we went with the Hampton Bay cabinets from the Home Depot. They actually arrived in a box and needed assembly. We made a separate video showing how to put them together. Check it out here, linked below. Once we got the cabinets built, we slid them into place and secured them to the studs on the back and side walls. But here's the catch, the back wall wasn't totally straight. It has a curve. So we used a few extra shims to make sure everything was nice and secure. There was also a small gap between the cabinets since they didn't quite fill the space. So we grabbed a filler cabinet, cut it to size, and secured it in place with some cabinet screws. Next, we headed to the hardware store where they helped us cut the plywood down so it would actually fit in the car. For the shelves, we used 1/2 inch plywood for the top, 1/8 inch plywood for the bottom, and 2x2s for the shelf frame. We started by cutting the 2x2s for the frame. We needed 4 pieces that were 53 inches long and 8 17-inch support pieces. Then, we cut a 2-inch strip of 1/2 inch plywood to go along the front of each shelf for that finished look. Then came the tricky part. The shelves needed to be cut at an angle because of the crooked walls in this old house. The front of the shelf needed to be 53 inches, but the back was only 52 inches. So we grabbed the jigsaw, made some angled cuts, and finally got everything to fit just right. We started by attaching the 2x2s to the back wall, making sure everything was level. For the sides, there were no studs to attach to, so we used drywall anchors and washers to secure everything. Next, we attached the front of the shelf frame. We screwed it into the side pieces, then we installed a metal support piece for extra strength. The cross pieces needed a little modification to fit around the metal support piece, so we cut a small lip with an oscillating saw. After drilling pocket holes, we screwed them into place. Now, time for the wallpaper. We chose a pattern from the Joanna Gaines collection at the Home Depot. It's easy to hang and it's removable. Just spray the wall with water, press the wallpaper on, and you're done. The remaining walls all needed to be cleaned up and painted. So we scraped off any old debris, then sanded everything with a 220 grit sandpaper. After that, we filled in any holes and dents with putty. And once everything dried, we painted. Be careful not to get any paint on the wallpaper. While we're at it, we installed the baseboards, cut them to size, attached them with a nail gun, filled in any holes with wood filler, and then finished with a coat of paint. We decided to paint the shelves before attaching them to make things a little easier. So we laid them down and applied a couple coats of paint. Once dry, we brought the shelves upstairs, added some wood glue to the tops, and secured them with brad nails. For the bottom, we used 1/8 inch plywood, applied wood glue, clamped everything into place, and finished with brad nails. Finally, we attached the front of the shelves using a strip of plywood, wood glue, and brad nails. After the glue dried, we moved on to the finished work. Wood filler over all the holes and caulking the edges. Be sure to pull off the tape while the caulk is still wet to keep everything smooth. Lastly, finish with a final coat of paint. With the shelves and cabinets in place, it was time to add the hardware. We used a simple guide to mark where the handles should go, then drilled the holes. Final step, we added a beautiful walnut butcher block from the Home Depot. We built a simple wood frame on top of the cabinet to ensure the butcher block would fit perfectly. After laying the butcher block down, we placed the frame on top, clamped it into place, and marked a cut line with a pencil. Then, we slid the frame and aligned the circular saw to the cut line and reclamped the frame. Now, the frame could be used as a guide to get the exact cut we needed. Once the first side was done, we did the same cut to the other side. This was the moment of truth. Oh! The butcher block fit perfectly. We took it back out for some final prep. We sanded the freshly cut edges with 220 grit sandpaper and applied some Watco butcher block oil and finish. We did 1 coat on the bottom and 3 coats on the top. Since the butcher block is quite heavy, we're keeping it in place without securing it down with brackets. It's not going anywhere. As a final touch, we installed some of these motion sensor lights from Amazon, and that's it. Remember, this is what it looked like before, and this is now. And that's it. I'm super pleased with how the pantry turned out, and hopefully you've been inspired to upgrade your own pantry. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more home tips.